here is a fact that should genuinely disturb you. Your brain cannot reliably tell the difference between fear and sexual attraction. In 1974, researchers proved that men who crossed a terrifying, swaying suspension bridge over a 230-foot canyon were dramatically more likely to fall for a stranger waiting on the other side, not because she was more attractive, but because their nervous systems were already screaming, and their brains labeled that scream as desire. The implication is staggering. A significant portion of what you have called love in your life may have been a neurological accounting error. This phenomenon is called the misattribution of arousal, and it is one of the most replicated and dangerous findings in all of social psychology. The principle is deceptively simple. When your body is physiologically aroused, your heart is pounding, your palms are sweating, your adrenaline is surging, your conscious mind desperately searches for a reason why. And if there is an attractive person standing nearby, your brain will point directly at them and whisper, "That is the reason you feel this way. You must be falling in love." To understand why this matters for your dating life, you need to understand something about your autonomic nervous system. It has one arousal dial, not 20. Fear, excitement, anxiety, anger, and sexual desire all share the same physiological signature: elevated heart rate, increased cortisol, heightened sensory awareness. Your body does not color-code these states. It floods you with activation and then leaves your prefrontal cortex to figure out the story. And your prefrontal cortex, brilliant as it is, gets the story wrong constantly. Now here is where this gets personal. Think about the relationship in your life that felt the most intense, the one you could not stop thinking about, the one that felt like a drug. I want you to honestly ask yourself, was that relationship stable and safe, or was it turbulent, unpredictable, and emotionally volatile? For the vast majority of people, the answer is the latter. That is not a coincidence. That is misattribution of arousal operating at industrial scale. Every argument that ended in passionate reconciliation, every anxious night wondering if they would text back, every emotional roller coaster, your body was flooded with activation, and your brain kept mislabeling it as proof of extraordinary love. This is the exact scientific mechanism behind why your ex keeps coming back, and why you keep letting them. Every breakup triggers a cascade of physiological stress responses. Your cortisol spikes. Your heart rate becomes erratic. You cannot sleep. You lose your appetite. Your body enters a state of profound arousal that is neurochemically almost identical to the early stages of infatuation. So when your ex reappears, sends that late-night message, shows up unexpectedly, your already activated nervous system does not interpret their return as a red flag. It interprets it as relief, as confirmation, as the most intense feeling of connection you have ever experienced. You are not choosing them again. Your misattributing brain is choosing them for you. Researchers Dutton and Aaron, who conducted the original Capilano Bridge experiment, found something even more troubling in their follow-up work. The effect was not subtle. Men on the fear-inducing bridge were nearly 4 times more likely to call the female research assistant afterward compared to men on a stable, low bridge. 4 times. The terror literally manufactured romantic interest where none would have otherwise existed. And the subjects had no awareness that this was happening. When interviewed later, they genuinely believed their attraction was based on the woman's qualities, her appearance, her personality. They had constructed an entire romantic narrative around a neurochemical lie. This principle has been weaponized by the dating industry for decades, often without naming it. Why do dating coaches tell you to take someone on an exciting first date instead of a quiet dinner? Because a horror movie, a rock-climbing wall, or a roller coaster ride will spike your date's heart rate. And when they look over at you while their body is surging with adrenaline, their brain will not say, "I am scared of this drop." It will say, "This person makes me feel something extraordinary." You are not building a connection. You are engineering a misattribution event. The question is whether you are comfortable knowing that some of the most powerful romantic moments of your life were manufactured by context, not by the person sitting next to you. But here is the layer most psychology channels will never tell you about. Misattribution of arousal does not just explain first dates. It explains entire relationship patterns. If you grew up in an unpredictable household, if love was inconsistent, if a caregiver was sometimes warm and sometimes cold, your nervous system was trained from childhood to associate high arousal states with attachment. You learned, at a neurological level, that love is supposed to feel like anxiety. So as an adult, when you meet someone who is stable, kind, and emotionally consistent, your body produces almost no activation. And your brain interprets that calm as the absence of attraction. There is no spark, you say. What you actually mean is, my trauma response was not triggered, so this does not feel like love to me. This is perhaps the most clinically important insight in modern relationship psychology. The people who feel the most addictive to you are often the ones activating your stress response, not your love response. Real compatibility, genuine emotional safety, often registers as boring to a nervous system that was calibrated by chaos. And this is exactly why so many people leave healthy relationships to return to toxic ones, genuinely believing they are following their heart. They are not following their heart. They are following a misattribution loop that has been running since they were 6 years old, and they have never once questioned the signal. So what do you do with this knowledge? The first step is radical neurological honesty. The next time you feel an overwhelming, almost electric pull towards someone, pause. Do not act on it immediately. Instead, audit your physiological state. Is your heart racing? Are you anxious? Did something stressful just happen? Are you in an unfamiliar or stimulating environment? If the answer to any of these is yes, you must accept the possibility that what you are feeling is not destiny, it is adrenaline looking for a love story to attach itself to. This does not mean the attraction is not real. It means you owe yourself the scientific humility to test it in calm conditions before you reorganize your life around it. The second step is far harder, and it is this: learn to tolerate calm. If you have spent years equating emotional chaos with romantic intensity, a healthy relationship will initially feel like withdrawal. Your nervous system will scream that something is missing. You will be tempted to manufacture drama just to feel that familiar surge. Resist it. Sit in the discomfort of safety. Let your body slowly recalibrate to the radical, unfamiliar idea that love does not have to hurt to be real. The couples who last decades are not the ones with the most fireworks. They are the ones whose nervous systems learn to find arousal in trust, not in terror. So the next time your ex texts you at midnight and your entire body lights up with what feels like undeniable proof that they are your person, remember the Capilano Bridge. Remember that your nervous system has one dial, and it does not care about the truth. Remember that the most dangerous lie your brain will ever tell you is that intensity equals intimacy. The people who understand misattribution of arousal do not just date differently. They break generational cycles. They choose partners with their prefrontal cortex instead of their amygdala. And they finally stop confusing the sensation of falling with the act of being caught. If this changed how you think about your own patterns, share this with someone who needs to hear it. Your nervous system has been running the show long enough.